皆さん、また来てくださってありがとうございます。こちらはマンハッタンニューヨーク金曜日の午後です。ということでね、金曜日ですからね、簡単なまとめをすると今週はね、やっぱりね、討論会もありましたけど、ハリケーンヘリーンの被害とストライキ、これはね、大きく民主党政権に影を落としてますね。プラスカマラ・ハリスのこの実行力のなさ、ここにやっぱり行ってトランプさんの方に流れるっていうのに非常に貢献してます。なぜかっていうとね、やっぱりこの次の政権が何かあった時にどう対応するのか、どう早く我々に対応してくれるのかっていうのをみんな見てますから、今この2つの事件が起こって全く対応力がないっていうことがまた浮き彫りになったわけなんですね。ということでね、どんどん流れておりますよ、トランプさんの方にね。でね、これでね、もうね、発狂したあちらがもうね、ジタバタが止まらない。ということでね、切り札も何もないのに、またね、ジャック・スミスが1月6日の持ち出して、誰も見てないのよ、それっていう感じですから、今日はね、このニュースもあげません。アホらしいですから。ということでね、今日の動画はね、2つなんですね。1個は、私がティム・ウォルツさんの討論会の前に見てほしいって言ってた、カマラ・ハリスとティム・ウォルツがタッグを組んだ時のパロディ、これを上げようと思ってたんですよ。これ、使われてる動画は、全部本当で、それをパロディにしてるんですね。なので、実際事実なんですよ。その事実を、まるでカマラがぶっちゃけたような感じでパロディにしてるんですね。そのティム・ウォルツに副大統領候補としてオファーしますって電話した時の動画が上がったんですよ。そこだけはカマラじゃないパロディにしてるんですけど、ここで引用されてる動画は全部本当の動画なんですよ。だからぜひ見てください。そしてね、もう一個はね、やっぱりね、この選挙ね、じゃんじゃんもうトランプさん圧勝の雰囲気がもう爆発的に前面に出だしたんですね。っていうのは JD バンスタンでもわかるように、もう若い世代も知的な人たちもみんなが支持しだしたんですね。っていうのはやっぱりリベラルって、そもそものリベラルっていうのはやっぱり今日上げる動画でもわかるみたいに、庶民の味方なんですよ。もう戦争しないとか、自由とか、自由闊達にさせてくれるちっちゃい政府。それがリベラルなんですよね。私が思っているのはですよ。だから、それがまた真逆になって大きい政府になって、何でもオバマケアに入らないと罰金課すぞとか、ワクチン打たなかったら仕事取るぞとか、大きな政府が何でもコントロールしてやるっていうのが、本当にこれ全然リベラルじゃないのにって思った人がみんなだんだんトランプさんに流れたんですね。イーロンもそうですけど、もともとはみんなリベラルの人が多いんですよ。そうじゃない人ももちろんいますけど、もうRFK だってトランプさんだってイーロンだってタッカーだってみんなもともとはリベラルの人だったんですね。それがあまりにもおかしな政府になってきて、社会主義共産主義みたいになってきたからみんなが出ちゃったんですよね。だから今日はやっと気づいたビリオネアの人たち、お金があって力がある人たちがやっぱり私はトランプさんを応援しますみたいな感じになった一つの例を挙げてみたいと思います。どうぞ。
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, you weren't my first choice. To be honest, you weren't even in my top 10. But no one else wants to run as my VP because they all know I'm going to lose. You are the only one who is willing to be my running mate.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically career suicide. But I did some dumb shit a few years back, and now I'm totally controlled by the deep state. And so they told me either I become your running mate or I get Epstein in a New York prison.
Now, the fact that we're both radical communists is a slight problem, but I got some instructions from Big Daddy Barack. Basically, we're going to pretend that you're a normal American white guy. There's a bunch of things you did that we got to run away from here. You passed a law requiring tampons in the boys' bathroom in schools. You basically cheered on the George Floyd rioters who burned down your cities. You implemented a snitch hotline during COVID. And Tim, you signed a law that allows the state to take custody of children if their parents refuse to let them transition. I mean, what the f*** Tim. We got a lot of cleanup to do here. But listen, we already got the mainstream media gaslighting America into thinking that you're super normal.
This is America's dad, America's football coach, and the teacher that's cool enough without trying to be cool.
A lot of people have noticed this sort of down-to-earth, likable quality to him.
Very moderate in Congress.
A moderate Democrat, a centrist, but a more centrist.
Kind of a centrist Midwesterner in persona.
That's pretty funny because I'm weird as f***.
Americans are dumb, Tim. They'll believe anything we tell them.
They are so dumb, right?
They think I'm black. Okay, so here's the plan. In order to hide your own weirdness, we want you to accuse Trump and J.D. Vance of being weird. Just say it over and over again.
Weird. And then they start being weird. They're weird. Donald Trump's weirdness. Very weird. It's just too weird. It's weird. Okay, so how far left are we admitting to being here? Like, are we openly woke?
We have to stay woke. Like, everybody needs to be woke. And you can talk about if you're the wokest or woker, but just stay more woke than less woke. Yeah. No, we're flip-flopping on everything right now. We want to keep the voters confused. You know when your GPS suddenly starts rerouting inexplicably and you have no idea where you're going and you're afraid your GPS might just drive you off a cliff? We're exactly like that.
What do we say if reporters ask us about policy stuff?
Oh, we're not taking questions from reporters, Tim. We're not prepared for that. But if you do find yourself in a tricky spot with a reporter, just cackle.
Cackle.
Yeah, cackle.
You're considered the most liberal United States senator.
Somebody said that, and it actually was Mike Pence on the debate stage. But
Yeah. And is that a socialist or progressive perspective?
No. Like, what do you want to know?
Wow, that's horrifying.
Exactly. It's horrifying, but distracting. Okay, so Tim, tell me, your radical left political views, are those real?
Oh, no, of course not. No, honestly, I will have whatever political views you pay me to have.
I love it, Tim. You're like the white male version of me.
You're right. No one voted for me either. Hey, Kamala, let's see what can be unburdened by what has been.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.
Hey, you ever notice that Harris-Walz sounds like Harry Balls?
I had not noticed that. Thank you for that. Bye, Tim.
Mr. Reagan.
So Shamut Palihapitiya is an American Silicon Valley venture capital billionaire investor who used to be anti-Trump. That's until he finally met Donald Trump face-to-face and realized that the media is the problem. Watch this.
I've always been a liberal.
Okay.
And I think I should define what liberalism used to mean. It used to mean absolutely no war. And it used to mean free speech. And it used to mean, a government that was supportive of private industry. Try your best, go out there, we'll look out for you. Come back to us if things go haywire. That's an incredible view of the world. And I think what happened was when I was given a choice, I would vote Democrat or I would support Democrats because I thought that that's what they stood for. And I didn't really understand Trump. And so what happened was I got too caught up in the messenger and I didn't focus enough on the message. And I didn't even realize that. I didn't realize it in 2016, but I don't think many people did. And then in 2020, I got lost in it. But probably by 21 or 22, I started to see all this data and I said, hold on, I am not being a responsible adult the way that I define responsibility. I am not looking at this data from first principles, and I need to do it. And when I did, what I saw was a bunch of decisions that turned out to be pretty smart. The problem is that because he's the vessel, he turns off so many people with his delivery.
True.
And I think this is a moment where the stakes are so high, you have to try to figure out what the message is versus what the messenger is saying.
It's also the media's depiction of him, which has been grossly distorted.
And I think that, I met him and spent time with him. I've also had lunch with Kamala. She was very kind, very nice person. Donald Trump, very funny, very kind, very polite.
I believe that.
Like, he talks to you. And I just was like, wow, this is like totally, and exactly what you said. I was expecting something totally different. And I think though that at the core, part of where the media goes crazy, I think, is that there's a part of him as well that's like an entertainer. I mean, he's he's as good as any comedian.
Trump is funny.
He's on point. He's got he's got rhythm. He knows how to land. So there's a thing that he's doing when he's on stage, which for the audience, I think, is no different than going to a show or a revival or something. You're seeing a star.
Right.
But then if you're looking at him as Donald Trump the person, I think the media really gets they get tilted.
Well, not only that, they've distorted who he is. Whatever flaws Donald Trump has are nothing in comparison to the media's depictions of him. And
everybody's got flaws. His, I think, his exist and are well described. But I do think that I think there's like a couple of good examples. You know, one example that bothered me was the Charlottesville press conference. When I first heard the media depiction of it, I was really upset because of what I thought he said.
Right.
It turned out he didn't say it.
Exactly.
In fact, not only did he not say it, he said the exact opposite.
Right.
And then I was really frustrated and a little bit angry because I thought, he was never lying to me. The filter was lying to me.
Right.
And I'm not paying for those people to lie to me. I'm paying for them to actually give me the transcript of it so that I can decide for myself. I think that's part of a responsibility of being a cogent adult.
And the only repercussions of them lying is a lack of trust that people have for them now.
And so then they make their own bed, you know, they dig their own grave a little bit because I think the trust in the mainstream media is the lowest it's ever been. I think way more people trust you, you know, way more people trust us to tell a version of what we think is happening because you're not going to lie.